Esta conferencia comenzará a grabarse.
Hello, Antonio.
Bonjour, Celine.
How are
Bom
you?
dia, António. Como estás? Bom dia.
Buen día, Jaime. I'm fine, Celine. Fine.
Thank you to introduce me in this meeting. It's really very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure that we have here great opportunities to develop it. Quite
And
important projects.
you lead it very well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
No, it's good. It's not easy. It's not easy at all.
No, this is easy because we have very, very good people in this team, this group.
Yeah.
Not so difficult, no. Guten Morgen, Ulla.
Guten Morgen an alle.
Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen, Nina. So it's 8:30. We will start. As you know, we decided yesterday to change the planification in the spirit of being flexible and focus on what is most needed. For today, the proposal is to analyze possible methodologies, tools, ways to work in order to answer to the need of the information and actions that to be provided by the rapid alert function. So in order to quickly react to what is happening in our industry and in our society also. Okay. Yesterday there were comments about two different tools. Okay. One was the development that is making, I think it's Rui Suarez, okay, with others in Portugal, of a matchmaking tool for crossing needs and solutions. Another proposal was from Daniel Cosnita, okay. He proposed to study the possibility to use the tool that are currently in place on the European Enterprise Network. He's part, if I am right, of the committee or steering committee of the clusters subgroup on the EN. And the third one was from Veronica, I think, that reported also some possibility. So, who will be there first? 10 minutes at most.
António, did you say Rui Soares or Rui Leal?
Sorry, really, my mistake.
Okay, so I think Rui can start if you want. Rui, are you in?
Yeah, I mean, Antonio, can I ask you to give me a presentation rights so I can show my screen? Okay, so let me see if my screen. Okay, it still don't. I still don't have it here. Let's wait a little bit to see. Okay, I still don't see it. Let me just take my camera off, please. Yeah, I don't think I still have the permission rights? Can you check?
Yes, you have it. Yes, you have it.
Okay, let me see if I can do anything. It says that I don't have the permission.
I will repeat the procedure.
Okay, I think I have it now. Let me see, share your screen. So, okay, share. Yeah, I think it is right now.
Not yet.
Okay.
Now.
Okay, perfect. So what I have here is a marketplace that we developed in Bring. So this is essentially a web application. We developed this using well-established technologies. We are using Python and a web framework called Django. So this is a framework that allows us to quickly deploy complex web applications that usually have so a set of models, so a complete and complex background model that is able to do like complex functions, but easily. So we can even extend. So what I'm going to show you is a very quick demo using well, let's call it profiles. So this window on my right will be administrative profile, and this window on the left will be a normal user. So let me just get into the site. So we have already in place things like sign up. So a user can sign up on this and have all the sign up process. But let me join as an administrative and show you what we have in terms of the solution here. So since I logged in as an administrative user, so this is kind of a super user, so I have access to all the objects of the solutions. The idea is to show you what type of objects we have. So the first landing page is what we call the marketplace. So essentially the marketplace is something that shows us requests. So people can do requests. So I need material, and we can show offerings. So I have material available to deliver, and people can also put these offerings here. So the idea is that this marketplace, we are able to do the matchmaking between the requests and the offerings. Of course, all of this is searchable. So I can do some natural language search, or even search by country, search by verify the entities, just show me the requests, just show me the offerings. So this is essentially the landing place of everything. So then we have the main object, which is a request. So I'm requesting something that I need. Then, of course, the offering. I can also, if I'm a supplier of material, I can make an offering saying, well, I have, for example, ventilators available. And of course, I have products, which is, well, the main master data for everything. And I have transactions. And the transactions is the way to connect the requests with the offerings. Since I'm administrative, I'm also showing you here the set of objects that we have. So, of course, users, the notion of entities. So a user can be belonging to an entity like an hospital. We have entity types, so way to filter this more easily. And, of course, a subset of product families that are able to organize products. So just to quickly show you a project, we have this simple, they can have details on this. So again, let me then log in as a different user, and we can do a small demo just to show you that, well, since I'm logging in as a normal user, so this is my window on the right, let's simulate that this user is someone on the hospital that wants to fulfill some of his needs. So as a user, I can make a request. So I'll create a simple request saying that I'm in Portugal, it will use my address.
We have lost.
Yes?
We are losing your voice.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We are losing your voice.
Okay, I'm connected through network to the cable. I don't know if it's better now.
I hope. Please continue.
Okay. So let me just do a small demo. So this user will request, for example, 10 ventilator cycles, and let's say that I need it by the end of the week. So I'll create a request. So creating the request is in draft mode, so I can validate all this, and then I will activate the request on the marketplace. So if I go to the marketplace, it will show me the request that I have created here. So it's a ventilator, volume cycle ventilator, and I'm requesting 10 units, okay? So essentially, then the marketplace has a request for me. Now, I'm going back to the super user just to simulate that this super user can be then a normal delivery guy. So for example, someone that is able to supply material to the hospital. So I'm just simulating, it should be like another user. So this right side window, so we are already seeing the request. So imagine that I'm someone that is able to fulfill this need. So I can go and search for this. I can create a delivery, but I also can do just a quick fulfill of the delivery. So what I'm saying is, oh, okay, this user needs 10 ventilators, so I can create a new offering and say must be picked up on our location, for example.
Sorry, Rui. That must be done by the administrator?
No. It's a normal user. I'm just simulating the process as an administrator, just not to create another user. So any user can create requests and deliveries, okay? So let me just say that I have available 5 ventilators. So what I'm saying is I'm creating an offering for fulfilling this request that the other user makes. So there are 10 requests for the ventilators, or a request for 10 ventilators. And I'm saying, well, I can fulfill 5 of this. I have 5 available and I can fulfill. So essentially, we are creating a transaction and we have all the objects then created here. So the ventilator is created and we also have a delivery for ventilators, 5 units available on the marketplace. So this user that made the request, so the user on the right side, will now receive an email that I just received. I'm going to show you. I'm sorry about the amazing amount of emails, but it's just my, junk email. So we have received an email saying that one of my requests got a fulfilled transaction. So I can go into the site and accept this transaction. So if I go back into the site, I can refresh this a little bit, and I say that I have 1 transaction. So what I'm saying here is that, well, one of my requests has then fulfilled or a delivery for 5 units, and I can accept it. So I can go and click accept. And essentially what I'm saying is, okay, I accept the fulfillment of the request that I have. So essentially, the request is then fulfilled, and myself as the user that said, okay, I have this offering, will then receive an email. So this email that I'm showing you here saying, oh, so one of your products fulfilled got accepted. So you can then start shipping of the product and prepare everything to be shipped, or then negotiate with the person that did the request in order to fulfill this request. So if I go back into my administrative, I have that I see that I have a transaction that was accepted. So imagine that then I ship everything, or I call the requester of the product, and then we are able to finish the transaction outside of the marketplace. So myself as the requester of the product, when I receive all the product, I just can go on my transaction and say, okay, so then I receive the product. So let me say that I received the 5 units that I'm going to say. So I save the transaction. Okay, so this is closing the transaction, and essentially we just said, well, your request was then fulfilled. As you can see, we have fulfilled the offering that the user originated, so it's out of the marketplace, and I can go see that my original request for 10 units now got 5 units accepted, and I received 5 units. So it's essentially we just
30
simulated.
30 seconds.
Yes, please.
No, 30 seconds. You have.
finalize.
Oh, okay. Yes, so just finalizing. We can also do the reverse. So in order, I just simulated a request and an offering of the request, but I can also go here and accept, for example, the masks, which is the same process. So I'm saying, well, this user has 100 masks available and I want to one of them. So just a simple example. So essentially it's the same thing. So I can put requests. I can also put offerings and accept.
Sorry, Antonio. I think the goal was showing how this works. And this works for me as an hospital or for me as a maker. So basically is we have the capability to don't stop the production here, helping each other to fulfilling what is needed. And on the other hand, we have the way to put the final production in the front line, helping the people to have the right materials in the right place to save lives. Basically, that's the goal.
Congratulations. I think it seems to be a very, very good tool. Okay, we need to upper the analysis, because I know for a fact that there is some other tools like that in Europe now. This is for sure very good. Okay, but we need just for our analysis, I think that we need something else. Okay, something more, not something else. This and something more, because we need to have a view of what is happening, and we need reports about how many requests do we have from the hospital, or what kind of materials are most needed, or do we have requests that are not answered for days and days, this kind of information.
Very, very good point, Antonio. And what we decided, because to a matter of speeding up and going live, because even to help the adoption of these, we need to collect some data, mainly for the countries outside Portugal that we don't know so well, the geographics. We need some healthcare points. We need that type of data we don't have. So we prepare the kind of templates to capture the data, and we need, of course, your help and load the tool. And we decided, let's launch this, and now we will produce all of that KPIs that you are mentioning to see who is fulfilling more, where are the points with more needs, what we can do to give KPIs to manage that in an integrated manner. And we decided, let's put these in two waves. First wave, operation, which is what we are showing, because from that point on, it's very easy for us to build the KPIs, okay? And that is key and is part of the solution. But we didn't start by that because, of course, we need, first of all, to put that in place. And we are not yet there, because without the data that we need from the participants, we are not able to do this in a broader way. We can load it for Portugal, but it's not enough. So we need your help to collect the other data. On that moment onwards, it's very fast to build the KPIs that you are saying.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. Thank you. It's in your development plan. Thank you. Can we go to the next presentation? Perhaps Daniel?
Yes, hello everybody, good morning. So we are trying now to map the disruptions in the value chains on a very fast response. And I would like to present to you the Enterprise Europe Network. A methodology. So Enterprise Europe Network is you see here the website is a network of the European Commission, and this is the largest European network in support of SMEs internationalization in terms of commercial partnership, technology transfer, international technology transfer, and participation to research and development projects, and especially Horizon 2020. How is this functioning? Do you see now my presentation, my PowerPoint slide?
You have not. We were seeing it, but now no.
You don't see it. Now?
Not yet. Now, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So how the network? So the network is the largest European network. It has.
Daniel, I would suggest not to focus on the network, but on the tool, because you have 8 minutes.
On the tool. So the tool is a partnership opportunities database, and how it is functioning. This is important to understand. If an SME or a university or a research provider in one country has something to offer or has something to request, they address a regional point. So we have 600 regional points all over Europe and beyond, and a profile is being filed in with support of the regional contact point of the Enterprise Europe network, which is a specialist in this kind of internationalization of SME, and this is then placed in the partnership opportunity database, which is being run by EASME, by the European Agency for SMEs. In the mirror, for example, if somebody in Germany was looking for respirators, yes, the other you can then find in this partnership opportunity database who is offering this kind of products. And if this is identified, for example, in Spain, then the colleague in Spain, the regional contact point in Spain, who did the same thing, yes, for somebody offering this, put the requester and the offerer, they put them into contact. And what it is concluding, it is a partnership agreement. How this profile looks like, I will show you now. I will show you now how this looks like. This kind of profile that you have to fill in with the help of the Enterprise Europe network. So, for example, I took one of the profile. A German SME is looking for an adhesive manufacturer or developer. And you have a description of what the company is doing. What the company, what keywords. This is all. This is all filed in. You can choose the keywords, technology keywords. You have the network contact. Then you see what partners are you seeking, an SME, what languages are spoken, and so on. The advantage of the network, to use the network in mapping this disruption in the value chains and very fast, is that we have an immense manpower. It is about there are thousands of people in 600 regional networks. There are thousands of people which are doing this. So their job, and this is being supported by the European Commission via COSME. So this is their job. Their daily job is to put demand and request of products, of technologies, of research ideas in contact all over Europe. So we have the advantage of immense manpower which are doing this on a daily basis. There is a quality check, a mandatory quality check by experts of the network of the quality of the requests of the profiles that are being filed in in the partnership opportunity database. So we do not have the risk that something is there which is not valid or does not have any enterprise behind, or it's a fake, or it's of no use, or whatever. So the network is established since 10 years in its actual forms in 2007. So it's already 12 years that it is functioning in this integrated form. What if this is, we decide to go on that way? I think that what would be the next steps is to discuss with the ASME, and easily I think there can be made a fast track, so there can be made a special maybe simplified profile, maybe a dedicated section in this partnership opportunity database for this rapid request and demand in this period, and on this issue, on the disruption of the value chains, and that the network partners are dealing with priority with this kind of offers and requests. Also, an advantage of the network is that this will not need additional costs in terms of of the resources of all these people who are working on that, because this is the daily job of the enterprise Europe network. Also, in the enterprise Europe network, there is a thematic group clusters, which has over 100 regional contact points, so which are dealing with clusters. So, and they of course can be a spearhead, so they can collect also from the clusters, the existing clusters, the most important requests and demands, and they can easily place this into the database, and they can offer us also a support in this mapping, not now as a fast response maybe, but also on medium term, if we want to map the gaps, what is missing in the chains. I think these networks of cluster regional contact points in the end can be also can be used in order to do this. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Just some quick questions. Are they working now on that? Are they using now this network for the COVID crisis?
Yes, but yes, the EN, for example, in Romania, there is EN Can Help. There is a campaign where the EN is putting together, is collecting on a fast track, is collecting demands and offers. But I think that this is done in each country, but I think this can be raised at European level, and to do it in an integrated way.
And another question: will we have vision of the data? The same question that before. Will we have a kind of reporting of what is happening?
Yes, if this is agreed with the ASME, so yes, of course. So ASME holds the information. So we can, of course, we can. If it is decided, and if it is at the level of the European Commission, it is decided, and the ASME agrees. Yes, we have access. They can.
May I come in here?
May I come
in here, because the Enterprise Europe Network is, of course, part of DG Growth work, and we have seconded EASME to handle the operational part of it. And we are planning to have a meeting with our policy colleagues who are responsible for the EEN to discuss with them, because in the document which was produced and by the Commission, it says in SME intermediaries, and EEN is mentioned and clusters are mentioned there. So of course we have to work together and to see what can be done. But Daniel, be careful about data sharing. that is not so straightforward as you make sound it now, and particularly with our colleagues of EASMA. Therefore, I would urge you not to advance yourself too much on what is possible. I could, for example, not say whether it's possible or not, because they are very strict on what data can be provided to who. So this is something which will need to be sorted out, and it is definitely not easy and normally not quick. So from this point of view, because we have also already started to try to reach out to EEN and to see how we can work together, and that's why the question from Antonio, we haven't seen a joint response, a COVID response, because we were trying to link in with the ECCP that we can cross-connect, because I think it is very important. We need both, but we need to have these linkages. And what we found was a linkage between the Flanders EN, who have done a special activity, and that is what we linked. So if you know about others, please link it also to the ECCP portal, because it is important that we cross-link, but likewise, tell then the EN partners to also link to the ECCP portal. I think it's important about cross-linking.
Yes, I fully agree. Yes, this requires, is not for us to decide. This requires, as you said, Lula, discussion between yourself in the commission, to have access to, to this. Yes, we do that in the thematic group cluster. We already do that. So we already promote the ECCP and the forum and things like that. Yeah.
But I don't see activity. Daniel, sorry, in the positive way, not as criticism, but I don't see activity of the European Enterprise Network.
Yeah, may I jump in also? It's Anaïs talking. Because I was curious, so I went to the EEN web, and what I see is the online platform that they talk about is the one made in that Ula just mentioned, so from Flanders. And the other one, which is the other side of Belgium, from BioWin. And both of them are clusters that we work with. So I can definitely ask them how they relate and what's, maybe they can talk about it. But as Antonio just said, I'm not seeing much more than this. So I would like to know what else, so how we can connect, and how maybe I can bring on board in another day the people from Wallonia and the people from Flanders, because I know that directly who has been working on those two platforms, but I don't see more than this.
Yeah, there are two issues. The EN is doing the job they have been doing. We have been doing for over 10 years now, and we are doing so. The EN is doing it good. So the EN is working with SMEs.
We are not speaking about that.
So
Daniel.
Point.
We are not discussing reviews.
It's an answer.
We are speaking about the COVID crisis.
Yeah, the COVID crisis, as also Ula said, that you said, yeah, this is a proposal now. What I think that this is a proposal from myself, coming as being in the EN and also in these TG clusters, and knowing the network and knowing the tool. I think the tool is extraordinary, and the manpower behind is extraordinary. And of course, as Ula said, there are discussions at the level of the Commission, and if they come to an understanding, this is a proposal. What I'm saying now, I think this would be a very good tool for this purpose of mapping the disruptions in the value chains. Because and then also this will be wonderful, and this will not cost more, because this will have, and this is money, so this is European money invested in this, and I think this tool, the possibility to use this tool would be extraordinary. This is and of course this is one issue. The other of thinking.
Sorry.
Please.
It was just a comment, and Daniela, I'm not criticizing at all the work from EN. I think it's great if we can connect better. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry.
Yes. And the other issue is now of course, we connect now to the TG clusters. We connect, we promote the forum, and we do this. But these are two issues: the connection to the ECCP is one issue, and this mapping and fast response, which we need a tool. We need a tool to start to do this. I think this can be explored further, and this could be used for that, and also
Thank
for
you.
the mean.
Thank you,
Thank
Daniel.
you.
We should jump to another possibility, okay? Because if not, we will spend all the time on that, okay? So I will propose, Veronica, would you present? Are you there, Veronica?
Yeah.
We are not hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Now.
Oh no. Now yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Perfect. Can you see my slide? Sorry.
Yes. Yes, we are seeing that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, to you. So I tried to follow a critical thinking process, okay, to address the issue. So what mission for the rapid alert function and how it can look like. Okay, first of all, setting the mission. What we know now is only based in the Joint European Roadmap that gives this description. So two verbs, identify and tackle, a keyword, disruptions, and possible origins of the disruptions that are listed, okay? So starting from these four kind of types of disruptions, I tried to make an analysis of the possible impact, what the expected length of the disruption, and practical effect of the disruptions, okay? So type 1 is asymmetries inside EU because of asymmetrical lifting of containment measures in our member states. This is to be expected in the next few weeks, okay? But in my opinion, its impact will be short term because Italy will lift on the May the 3rd, another country on the 9th of May, another one on the 11th. But more or less, my idea is that within 1 month, there won't be any asymmetry, okay, inside the European Union. So the origin is an internal market. The disruption is an indirect effect of these measures. The impact to me is quite low XSA, intending this, that we expect a very short impact. But if this goes hand in hand with another disruption, that is the bankruptcy of businesses, we can have a far much larger impact, okay, if the two of the two disruptions go together. And this means that because of no more near zero sales in the next couple of weeks, many SMEs will have a liquidity crisis. Okay, so this is really key. So possible conclusions, a little provocation. Does it make sense to put in place an alert system on value chains, of course, excluding the medical devices? Okay, so I don't mention in this, I'm talking about all the other sectors. If these asymmetries are expected to last a short time and are not intentional, okay, because there is not an intention to create these asymmetries, okay, and focus to prevent the disruption number 3, that is bankruptcy, okay, to avoid the far much larger impact of these asymmetries. Second point is asymmetries outside EU, okay, impacting our value chains. Here, again, disruption is an indirect effect of measures adopted for other purposes. Once again, here, the impact to me is to be expected medium-high because our companies are more and more part of global value chains. And also because the expected length of the disruption is medium term because the situation around the world is in evolution. So some countries are entering now in lockdown. So it depends on their role inside the global value chains, and this can, of course, impact the more or less our value chain. Okay. Here again, the same consideration on bankruptcy, and again, possible conclusions here. Since the origin is outside EU, here I introduce the tool I was mentioning yesterday that is managed by Digitrade, and we will see it in a few minutes at the end. Okay, so once again, working to prevent the disruption. Number 3 is a priority to mitigate the impact of this kind of disruption. Okay, this is what I fear the most. Okay, but when we say bankruptcy, I think it's important to understand what we mean, because if a factual bankruptcy or illegal, because they're related to 2 different moments. The factual bankruptcy is just because the company becomes insolvent. There is nothing, let me say, formal saying this. You, as cluster, as EN, as Chamber of Commerce, may know this because of, let me say, personal relationships, because it's just a company that realizes that is becoming insolvent, but still will try to recover from this situation. Okay, so it is not really the end of the story. When the legal bankruptcy is the end of the story. Okay, so I think that we need to clarify what we mean with this. Again, origin is inside the internal market. Possible domino effect. Okay, because if I cannot, I'm insolvent, I cannot pay my suppliers, and my suppliers are probably in my same situation of liquidity crisis. So my insolvency will have a domino effect on many other companies. So this is why I fear very much this type. Beginning of impact in the short and medium term, because from a couple of weeks onwards, we will have this, we will see this. Okay, so the degree of the impact is very, very high, not just for the value chains as such, but for the European economy and European society. And put it with the International Labour Organization words, we will have devastating losses. And now I want to introduce you the concept of chains of trust, because value chains are made not just of movement of products and components. It is value chains are made of trust between people, and this require longer terms for recovery. And I want just to share with you, this is an extract from a publication of the European Central Bank. And as example, they were citing what happened in Japan following the earthquake and tsunami, because the disruptions affected the key suppliers in the affected regions. And of course, a large number of companies didn't know anymore where to supply, and they didn't know their suppliers' networks, as their suppliers had subcontracted and the like, and the supply chains lacked the transparency, and the supply risk became difficult to be managed. And the result, and this result was bottom up. I mean, no one decided at governmental level to do this, but the companies bottom up decided to reduce the length of their supply chains to better manage the risk, because the risk connected to lack of transparency, hence lack of trust. Okay, so possible conclusions for me are, of course, that the European Union member states have to work to prevent this disruption with all possible and super simple and super fast means, but we will talk about this tomorrow. And industry associations and clusters have, to me, more than other actors, continuous contacts with their companies, because we work with our companies every single day. So if we want to map insolvencies, factual insolvencies, this will come, as I said, more easily through personal relationships, talking with entrepreneurs directly. Okay, so that's why I think that in this kind of tracking, industry associations and clusters have a better position to pre-alert what's going to happen. And finally, third country actor interference. Sorry, the origin, of course, is outside the EU. Here we have a direct effect of intentional measures applied in third countries. Okay, this is the first really intentional. Again, the situation is an evolution, but with recession approaching, recession brings protectionism. This is very typical, okay? So the expected length of disruption is medium, long term. The degree of impact on our supply chains is high, and the possible reasons is more protectionism, is new reshoring policies to be expected, but also, as cited in the previous example, bottom-up decisions of a company to reduce the length of their supply chains, so reducing the global value chains, okay? Possible conclusion, again, since the outside EU origin is the tools of the Digitrade. Okay, in my opinion, all what you each of you has suggested is great. My idea is that we need a consistency, okay, in the methodology of tracking first, and we need not just a marketplace, because the phenomena behind some type of disruptions and the fact that these disruptions will cover a wide range of sectors, not just medical devices, okay, are much deeper than the need for a matchmaking tool. So maybe this can come, but at a later stage. We need something more before. And this is the tool. So MADB, the Market Access Database. I try, so this is just a screenshot, but the idea is that there is all information for European companies that wanted to export in this part of the Digitrade website, okay? But there is a part of this collection of information that is trade barriers, okay? And here you can see that it is updated regularly. The classification is made by measures by country, sectors by country, measures by sector. Of course, there is a high-level classification because of some kinds of obstacles are, of course, classified, occur more often. Okay, so there is a certain kind of classification. But I go to see how it works. Okay, this is the way the market access partnership is organized. This is a group of key actors that have decided to share information from where they are. So you see Brussels, of course, the head of European Union, where meaning Europe, so member states, the Commission, the EU business, and on the right side, the non-EU countries. So the antennas that we have outside EU, okay? So the member state embassies, EU delegations, and the like. So my idea could be maybe to replace this with the rapid alerts function, replace also here, and add on the left side in the part of EU business. So from where the information, the alert comes from, we see clusters, industrial associations, EN, chambers of commerce, so all the ones that can gather the information about the disruption. And then they can channel inside the function together with all the other actors. Because once again, we will have not just inside the EU problems, but problems deriving from outside the EU. So we need also the non-domestic aspect to be covered. And in the presentation of DG Trade about this market access partnership, they highlighted the importance of having all information in one place. And one place in this sense is the best one, because it's the European Commission website that is a great reference. I mean, I also think that we need, in terms of managing data and the like, to give the companies the guarantee that the information they are providing will be managed by the more trusted institution, okay? And also the effect of having all in one place. And so the conclusion is that how it could look like the rapid alert function database. So what we need first is a well-defined template, because this will be the tool together in a consistent way, all key information useful to identify and map the disruptions, no matter who gathered them. So this will guarantee a consistency of tracking. Then we can organize a multiple classification of information. So disruptions by country, region, cluster organization, disruptions by sector, by key components, raw materials, by value chains, and the like, okay? And finally, what we have, the consistency of all information, allowing tools like artificial intelligence to analyze data and extract key information in order to provide the European Commission with operational information on disruptions, in order to take rapid actions, because in case, let's say, we see that some asymmetries inside the EU concerning lifting of measures for COVID, we become to last too much, okay? And it becomes to be such a kind of intentional block to some movement of goods and services. This is something that the European Commission must know to react at internal market level. Of course, also to provide the European Commission with strategic information on European and global value chains. Also provide clusters, EN and the other actors on the territories close to companies, qualified information to help recovery of supply chains, not just in now, but for the future, because some disruptions will last long term. And finally, provide clusters and economic actors with valuable information, helping their work towards stronger, more resilient, and more interconnected value and supply chains. That's it.
Grazie mille, Veronica. Excellent work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, comments on other possible solutions. We have something like 20 minutes to speak about them. Please don't repeat to the point, because 8 minutes, sorry. Quick to the point interventions.
Antonio, this is Peter Zaga from the cluster team of DG Grow.
Hello, Peter. Nice to
just quickly on internationalization, as Veronica mentioned. As many of you know, in Grow, we've been having some activities on bringing clusters, helping them in their internationalization activities. Like we were planning several matchmaking events for the spring that, for obvious reasons, had to be cancelled and postponed, but we hope to restart with them depending on the travel situation, maybe by the end of the year or in 2021. We have missions planned for Korea, for Taiwan, and to Canada, but they will be restarting in a later date. Also, we have the Clusters Go International Action, that a group of new partnerships were supposed to start in May, and now we postponed the starting date to September, saying that maybe by then it will be better it will be more a priority of clusters and companies to look for foreign markets. So these international activities, they were brought to a halt, but we definitely want to restart them in the second half of the year. And the second one about the market access database, that it is indeed a very good and long-standing tool of the Commission to help companies to inform them about export restrictions and regulations in third countries. So I think it's a good idea. It's well known by many countries, by many companies. So it's a good idea to try to bring there this rapid alert system that Veronica has been talking about, and we'll try to follow this up with our DG Trade colleagues, how we can help in these efforts. That's all.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Peter. More comments. Okay, if there is no more comments.
Antonio, there are questions, comments on the chat.
Sorry. Yeah. I see. Thank you. How far this tool already works? Veronica, that's for you. How far it's working?
Pardon?
Could you explain the question, Celine? Celine?
Yes.
Would you explain the question?
Yeah, yes, I would like to know how many alerts and how far it is already working, this tool. Does it produce alerts already? For example, when something happened in Asia or elsewhere, when there was the first premises of the diffusion of the virus in China, how far it produced alerts for different products for Europe, for example?
Good question, Annalisa. So, and thank you very much. As far as I know, because I tried to make some search, okay, for keywords, and the fact is that the current organization of MADB seems to be to work around a classification that is not so flexible. Okay, so some categories have been identified at European Commission level, and the only search possible is by this identification of category. Said this, I think that so it becomes a little problem to really understand if there is something inside that on COVID if you don't go expressly to check. Okay, in this case, it could be, yes, to go into, that China is affected by the problem and they are in lockdown, and Chinese are much of your suppliers, but you can go directly to see in the part of China of the database and see if something comes out. But what you say is a good idea, maybe for possible improvement of the database. So the ones of having an alert system in presence of such massive events, world events, because the usual work of the database is to provide information on the new infraction of IPR, okay, or the new policy, Buy America policy, okay. These, I mean, measures that usually are long-term, problems that are long-term. So the fact that to become, to introduce a rapid alert function also inside MADB is a great opportunity to be at this.
Okay, I understand that Peter said that they will explore that possibility, and that's very good news because the tool looks very promising. Thank you. So it's time to close, but before closing, we should review the list of proposed. Yeah, Daniel.
Antonio, just very short, maybe not question, but I run into one project that currently is dealing with early warning Europe. I don't know whether is it the same because it's also for companies. Of course, it has nothing to do. It had nothing to do with COVID for the time being, but it's to restart the companies and to look at the bankruptcies and etc. Is this the similar system that Veronica was speaking about, or this is something I have to make more searches to provide more information, but I will put it on the forum or on the discussion plate. Thank you.
Please do that, and we will study it. Yeah, or you could give us more information in next sessions. Thank you, Daniel.
I will do.
Thank you. But remember that we have the ECCP forum to continue the dialogue. So, Veronica, would you send us the presentation?
Sure.
Thank you very much. Also, Daniel. Anais, have you been working on the possibility of defining some value
Working
chains
groups.
or working
Yes.
groups?
Hi,
Yeah.
can you hear me okay?
Yes, we are hearing
Yeah,
you.
okay. Basically, so now after seeing Veronica's presentation, I feel bad showing my slide that I have done. Let me just show you. I've just been thinking about the working groups. I don't know if you see it.
Yes, we see it.
The sea in the Basque countries. Anyways, yes, I recuperated a big screen yesterday to work from home. So basically, with all the discussions that we have had, I've been thinking about how to distribute the work in several groups. This is the first ideas. I don't know if you see it correctly. So new models, new value chains, because I think one of the key aspects that's been discussed in the last days is to bring new solutions and new ideas on how this is going to change somehow the life and the work that we're doing. Then the second working group could be on interconnectivity, because there are so many things going on around that we should not duplicate, but we should try to really connect with others. For example, I'm thinking the hackathon that is being done this week, or the presentation that Veronica just said with other actors from DigiTrade. Then another working group could be on concrete funding mechanisms, because I think, it's very important. And there we could share also from national, local, European, and so on. The rapid alert, because I've understood that it's something very important, and that we need to find ways in maybe the platforms that were shown today. And finally, I think something that's very important is the monitoring of the response and the collecting experiences, because then we learn and we ensure that what we decide further on can be, that we have data to prove our points. So those are, I mean, it's difficult. There are many ways to divide the work, but I think this is I hope that in each of those, it could be interesting discussions. And then obviously everything is connected. But just to avoid, for example, I thought of having maybe one on social, but then I thought, no, it should be everywhere, just like, 3D or other sectors. So I try to find kind of transversal issues.
Thank you very much, Nice. My understanding, or just the proposal from, I think it was from Gilles Colson, or I don't remember very well, sorry, was to define expert groups or satellite network groups on value chains, meaning, for example, mobility or energy. Okay, to study by value chains the effects of the prices and possible bottlenecks and so on. Okay, so that was my understanding. the approach that you propose is totally different. I don't know, perhaps both are valid, and I'm not meaning that this is not, I don't know. We need to think about what capacity do we have, and what is
exactly
best for our work, okay? Because those
well, I
are
mean,
more.
yeah, I'm super open. I think I think I can propose, let's say, we can try to define a bit better those groups. So I can try to define those that I did, and I can do another proposition against, let's say, a more value chain kind of approach of working, if you think it might be. I mean, I'm not the expert. That's why I probably think more like this.
I will say that we were yesterday focusing on the rapid alert function.
Yeah.
So it will be just on rapid alert function, and we were thinking about how to make a real expert job, not just quick reflection or brainstorming, but really make an analysis, a deep analysis of what is happening in every value chain. And my understanding was that it's important to cover all of them, because there are some that are especially critical at this moment, like the health one, but everyone will suffer, and most of them are critical. So in order to make a serious job, we should focus with experts on every one of them. And I think that was the proposal, and I agree with it. Okay, so the one possibility will be to define those wide value chains. But I don't know. I think it was a proposal from Gilles. It could be. Gilles, are you there? Could you comment? Gilles Colson?
Maybe I can connect with him anyway, because I am not sure if he listens, but I can try to talk to Gilles. And
or what do you think? The rest of the group, what are your opinions? What do you suggest? Please say something. This is collective intelligence. We need
yes,
your
absolutely.
thoughts.
Maybe if you want, Antonio, what I can do is to define better both IDs, and then we can maybe discuss with more material.
Okay.
Because then it might be clearer for everyone to kind of decide. Because for me, the holistic approach that I put is in each group, then we can have very concrete discussions, but can make it also on a value chain, let's say, kind of idea. So I will try both. When do you want me to present? Because now I have a very high expectations from my own self after seeing the presentation. Tomorrow.
No hurry.
I'm in the hackathon too. I'm in the hackathon, by the way. I think we should. I don't know if any more of you are involved in the EU versus virus hackathon. I'm not.
We have offered support on that.
Okay.
By the way, the group on ventilators was asking for some expert that could mentorize on ventilators, respirators. If any of you have an expert that is not participating as a
mentor
yet, okay, but could mentorize, please contact me if you want, okay, and we will send the proposal to the organization. I really think that your approach, the approach that we are seeing in the screen is very good. I think it's very important to have the one study at what is happening, collecting experiences and monitoring responses. I like your approach. The main point is, will that be enough to for the rapid alert function? And I doubt it. I think that we need to focus on on the specific value chains.
Okay, maybe it's more in the long term than these working groups for this group. Okay.
We need to see about it.
Good.
Okay. Any last comment or we close? Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye to everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.